I get asked a lot of the time about what is the difference between a counsellor and a psychotherapist. And it's really, I'd say to people often, it's the $1 million question, because even counsellors and psychotherapists can't quite decide together collectively what that actual difference is. Generally, the way I sort of see it, it takes longer to qualify as a psychotherapist than as a counsellor. But in terms of if you're choosing a counsellor or a psychotherapist to work with, it's really quite a difficult thing to try and ascertain. And you'll find that you've got counsellors who are extremely experienced and have more experience potentially than a psychotherapist, but the psychotherapist has trained for longer, potentially. You'll get that scenario. When it comes to really understanding who you would go to for what, in general terms, if you're choosing a counsellor, you're maybe going to like someone who specialises in grief or domestic abuse, something like that. So you're going there for a particular reason and for help with a specific challenge that you're having. Whereas, and this is still a bit generalistic, but you might be inclined to go to and see a psychotherapist if you're noticing certain patterns in your behaviour that you want to try and change because you realise they aren't helpful to you. So it can be quite different like that, but ultimately the person that you're going to, if they're experienced, they might be able to work with both of those things. It sort of really depends. The way my tutor described it, and I might not get this quite right, but you generally go to see a counsellor if you would like some support to try and make sense of your external world, whereas you might go and work with a psychotherapist if you want some support to try and understand what's going on with your internal world. So what's going on with your mind and the unconscious that's happening in your mind, to bring it into awareness and try and change that. That, I think, is the way he described it to me, which is one of the better ways that I've seen it. But because neither of them are regulated, it's not a regulated industry at the moment, anyway, in 2024. Really, anyone can call themselves a counsellor or a psychotherapist, sort of depending on their training. Now, personally, I have a diploma in counselling. I'm working towards my advanced diploma in psychotherapy, but at the minute, because of my kind of morals, I call myself a counsellor. I don't call myself a psychotherapist because I currently do not have that qualification. So you kind of need to hold it quite lightly. But I really hope that gives you some form of clarity on, if you're looking for a counsellor or a psychotherapist, what sort of qualifications you're looking at and how much experience they've got. Really, what I would say is more important than that is finding somebody that you can trust, that you can feel really safe with and feel like you can be honest with. That, I would say, is more important than finding someone who's got a specific qualification. I hope that helps. I'll see you soon.